guys, and welcome to another installment of Mark My Words, and today's subject is how to avoid negative thinking. Negative thinking always finds a way into our lives, whether we have a great life or we suffer with mental health issues such as anxiety and depression like I do. And of course many others, especially with lockdown going on. This is kind of why I started this podcast as well, because we need that little bit of uplift in such a negative time, because in the world there are people getting really ill, some are even losing their lives to COVID-19. So this is a good way to keep your mental health strong and show that you're not alone and you do have the support you need. And one of the things I find with anxiety, for one thing, is I always call it the fiction writer, okay? It creates this weird fiction that everything's wrong when there clearly isn't. I'll give you an example. This happened at least 4 years ago now, I think. Again, I'm going back down to my touring roots, and we were having a celebratory meal. And I was sitting there, everybody seemed enjoying themselves, having fun. After all, we were at a Frankie and Benny's, we all had our pizza there, we had our pasta. It felt great. But negativity crept into my head that day, and all of a sudden I just got paranoid. Like, I was left with my own thoughts, and I was like, people haven't spoken to me for 2 minutes. I said, do they not like me? Do they not this? I was like... Then all of a sudden I had these chain of events which I could write a fiction book with. And it's not healthy. I wound myself up into a frenzy over something that wasn't necessarily true. And this is what's going to happen to people if you let negativity creep in and try and mould your reality. One thing I've started doing as well, whenever a negative thought comes in, especially when you're on your own, especially during lockdown, you're probably going to end up isolating yourself in your room, watching Netflix or Amazon Prime, etc. You have a lot of time to yourself to let these negative thoughts creep in. And one thing I've started doing is I started monitoring when they come in, and I've been calling them liars. I'm going, no, that's not true. You're saying that because I'm on my own and doing this. And it's like, sometimes if you pull the wool over their eyes, they have nowhere to go, and all of a sudden you start feeling a lot better. Another one is staying busy. At the start of this lockdown, my dad dragged me into DIY, right? And I fucking hate DIY. I absolutely fucking loathe it. And all of a sudden, I'd get that, no, I don't feel like doing that now. But as soon as I got into it, stick a paintbrush in my hand, I start painting the doors or whatever he wants me to do while he does all the other stuff. I was fine. One thing I did do is I started playing music, and music always seems to be my saving grace on that one. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I always play either two artists. I either play the Beatles or I play ELO. And surprisingly, listening to Mr. Blue Sky, you're gonna lift up like mad. So definitely check out that song if you haven't. And it's the title song for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So if you don't know what it is, that's the song. I found another technique as well. Naming positives that happened recently, even if they're like minuscule or insignificant. It could be getting your prescription on time. That's still a positive, isn't it? It may not have like significant impact on everything else, but it have a significant impact on you. And that's what you need to understand. The small things matter. I've always said this. Like, the small things I do for my friends and everything, they matter to me. Because they're worth a lot more than saying, like, oh, I've given you 100 quid for this and I've done this. So it's like, no. I'd rather be like, no, I was the one there during these difficult times. That's the small things I'm talking about. These are the things that really and truly matter. Also, another thing is get a structure together. Start planning out your days. That's one thing I'm guilty of as well. I get stuck in this rut. I literally turn into a flipping hermit. And it's not good at all. Even start writing down a timetable like on your calendar or something like that. That will help you a lot. Like even planning workouts. One alternative, if you hate running, go for a long walk. Because I've looked at YouTube videos, right? And they say that you can burn quite a lot from like a 40-minute walk as you would in like a normal run. But I think the only difference with that is like when you run, you burn the recent calories that you've already taken in, like your breakfast or something like that. But when you reach a certain pace with your walking, you end up burning more than that. So keep that in mind if you're planning on losing weight during this lockdown as well. A nice long walk is healthy and it gets you out. It's like we've had some alright weather. If you've got a dog, take him or her out. I literally walk my dog 3 or 4 times a day. Another solution I have is called what I like to call the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you pick 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can taste, 1 thing you can touch. And that's why I call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it's the 5 senses and it also does a little countdown. So this one is very handy if you're really dealing with some kind of panic attack and you feel like you can't breathe. second you feel one coming on, you feel like tight chest and everything, start thinking of this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what it does, it distracts you from feeding the panic attack in a way. It takes your mind off it. So you don't really have time to kind of fuel the anxiety in that situation. So you end up getting your breath back, start trying to take long breaths. Because one thing it does, it shortens your breath quite a bit. And it is a struggle, but always try to breathe really deep in through your nose and really out through your mouth. Also, remind yourself that it's going to pass. It's not going to happen forever. So keep that in mind and the panic attack will pass. Thank you so much for listening in again. I'm going to try to do like at least every Wednesday or Thursday, so keep an eye out. I will be advertising beforehand. And make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, which is Mark James Music. I also have songs and I also have podcasts on there, so it's a kind of a two birds, one stone kind of thing. And like I said, music's a good healer. And if you have any requests for covers that you want me to do, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to learn the song and record it for you, and I'll even name drop you in the video and say thank you so much for the nomination. Thank you and good day, guys.